There's a biological reason why the Thermogenic supplement that helped you lose weight 5 years ago doesn't produce the same results today. It's not a coincidence, and it's not your imagination. It's a documented process called thermogenic resistance, and it explains why so many adults experience a plateau in response to fat-burning approaches that once worked reliably. Thermogenic effects, accelerated fat burning through increased metabolic rate and lipolysis, are mediated primarily through beta-adrenergic receptors on adipose tissue. When these receptors receive catecholamine signals from caffeine, synephrine, exercise, or other thermogenic inputs, they activate hormone-sensitive lipase, which initiates the breakdown of stored triglycerides. This is the fundamental mechanism behind virtually every thermogenic supplement and most fat-burning approaches. The problem is that beta-adrenergic receptors downregulate in response to repeated activation. Years of using caffeine-based thermogenics, years of caloric restriction that elevates catecholamine levels, years of exercise-induced adrenergic stimulation. All of these contribute to progressive reduction in receptor surface expression and sensitivity. The inputs that once drove meaningful fat loss produce diminishing responses as the receptor population shrinks and desensitizes. This is thermogenic resistance, and it's the mechanism behind the experience of trying harder, eating less, and exercising more while achieving less. Not inadequate effort, inadequate receptor response. CitrusBurn addresses this through P-synephrine, the primary active alkaloid in Seville orange, Citrus aurantium. Research published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition specifically examined P-synephrine's receptor selectivity and found that it acts preferentially on beta-3 adrenergic receptors. Beta-3 receptors are the specific subtype found primarily on adipose tissue and are specifically responsible for lipolytic signaling. Critically, beta-3 receptors are less subject to the downregulation that affects beta-1 and beta-2 receptors, the subtypes that caffeine and ephedrine primarily activate. P-synephrine reaches receptors that haven't been desensitized by years of stimulant use, restoring thermogenic response in individuals who have genuinely developed resistance through other pathways. This is supported by 12 peer-reviewed citations that back the formula's development, an unusually high evidence density for a supplement in this category. The research covers not just P-synephrine's individual mechanisms but the synergistic effects of the formula's additional botanical compounds. Coleus forskolii for cAMP-mediated lipolysis activation through a different mechanism, white willow bark for thermogenic synergy, green tea EGCG for complementary fat oxidation through COMT inhibition, and additional compounds that support the thermogenic cascade through independent pathways working together. CitrusBurn is caffeine-free, an important distinction for 2 reasons. First, removing caffeine means no tolerance buildup, no adrenal fatigue from chronic stimulation, and no interference with sleep quality that undermines the overnight fat burning and hormonal restoration that adequate sleep produces. Second, it means CitrusBurn can be used alongside a morning coffee or other caffeine sources without the cardiovascular concerns associated with combining multiple stimulants. According to verified customer feedback, improved energy and initial thermogenic response appear within 2 to 3 weeks as P-synephrine reaches steady-state plasma levels. Gradual body composition changes become measurable at 4 to 6 weeks of consistent use. The distinction is important. You don't get the stimulant rush because it's not a stimulant, but you do get sustained, non-fatiguing metabolic support. Men and women with cardiovascular conditions, hypertension, or thyroid disorders should consult their physician before use. P-synephrine has mild cardiovascular effects that require consideration in these populations. This is not restrictive, just requires professional guidance for certain individuals. Full thermogenic resistance research, P-synephrine receptor selectivity data with explanation, complaint investigation, current pricing, and official website in the description. Like, comment, subscribe.